Ladies and gents, we have a Fabrizio Romano exclusive. Viktor Gyökeres priority is to join Arsenal over Manchester United. And he's even come out and said United remain keen, but deal now is unlikely. That is a massive bit of news if you're an Arsenal fan. Liverpool are out there, have signed Florian Wirtz. They've already got Gyökeres' agreement, and they've signed Frimpong. Man City have got Rayan Nouri. They've got a young Norwegian player who looks a real talent. They've got Šeško. They've got Reinders. Arsenal had to make a move of a statement of intent that their Premier League title race next season is still alive, because lots of people are already writing them off, and they needed to go out there and make a big signing, and that is exactly what this is. If they bring in Viktor Gyökeres, in my opinion, he scores minimum 20 league goals. That is his bread and butter. In the box, finishes. He's a powerful runner. He's a creative player as well. But they need someone in that box who can link up with Saka, link up with Martinelli, and put the ball in the back of the net. And if they go and get this left wing position right, listen, I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot, because last year I said Arsenal win the league and they didn't. My predictions will be coming later. But make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you smash this subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, 90% of you who watch this channel, yes, you, if you haven't already, please subscribe. 90% who watch this channel on a daily basis are not subscribed. And the road to 60K is well and truly on. We're about 500 or so away from 57,000. Now, we got an exclusive from Fabrizio Romano. We're going to bring it on the screen. This come out only an hour ago. I've only just seen it. And it says, Viktor Gyökeres' priority is to join Arsenal this summer, despite calls from Manchester United in the recent weeks. That, for me, is an absolutely massive bit of... It also goes on to say, Gyökeres, always an option amid Šeško talks with no deal sealed so far. Arsenal keep assessing the situation. United remain keen, but now a deal is unlikely. So the striker that's got 97 goals in a Sporting shirt in the last 2 years, in the Liga Portugal, in the Champions League, in the Europa League, in the Portuguese Cup, the guy that probably right now is the best goal scorer in world football, is about to be, well, providing to the report, the only team that have a solid link right now in for him is Arsenal. Al Hilal are interested. I don't think he goes to Saudi at this point in his career. Juventus are interested. I think right now Arsenal is more attractive than Juventus. And you've also got Manchester United, and Romano has come out and said his preference is to join Arsenal. 39 goals and 8 assists in 33 games in the league this season. 6 goals in 8 games in the Champions League. 4 goals in 3 games in the Allianz Cup. 5 goals and 3 assists in the Taça de Portugal. His numbers are a joke in a Sporting Lisbon shirt. And before anyone says, oh, it's only the Liga Portugal, if you don't think this guy is an unbelievable goal scorer, then you simply have an agenda. I completely get some people might say, look, he's unproven. He hasn't played in a top 5 league. And I can completely understand if some people out there prefer Benjamin Šeško. I have remained very consistent on my opinions on what Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal need if they want to go win this title. Liverpool needed someone who can play that killer pass in the number 10 area or play a false 9 role better than what they've currently got. Someone who can take some of the load off Salah. They've ticked that box with Florian Wirtz. Manchester City needed to replace their midfield because they had no legs. They've now got Rodri back, Reinders, and they've brought in Šeško who can play in the number 10. They've ticked that box. Arsenal need an elite goal scorer, and there is no better goal scorer out there at this moment in time than Gyökeres. He's just won the European Golden Boot for the most goals in a European league. Look at that record in a Sporting Lisbon shirt. That's nearly 130 goal contributions in 102 games. Played in England before, played in the Championship where he had 60 goal contributions in 116 games. His record is absolutely ridiculous. 200 goals, 220 goals, sorry, with 65 assists, 285 GA in 395 games. I think he is going to be an unbelievable piece of business for Arsenal. This is pretty much what every Arsenal fan needed. They can comfortably improve his salary. He's going to move to London. He's going to play in the best league in the world for one of the biggest and best teams out there. But let's just be brutally honest. Arsenal have to win next season. Otherwise, questions are going to be asked about Arteta. Look at his numbers. Top 1% for progressive carries, non-penalty goals, non-penalty XG, non-penalty, shot creations. You know, his numbers are stupid. Top 2% for successful take-ons. Top 1% for progressive passes, touching the attacking penalty area. He ticks all the boxes. The next question is going to be, what do they do with that left wing position? That is going to be the next thing on the list. Because if they don't bring in a very good left winger, I still think Liverpool are going to be very, very strong next season. And I still think Liverpool will be clear favourites for the league title next season. You know, in terms of this left wing position, Nico Williams, who is a target, is likely to join Barcelona now. He's a very good friend and national teammate. Lamine Yamal looks like he's trying to persuade him. Barcelona are a big fan of Nico Williams. Bayern Munich are also a big fan of Nico Williams. You know, a meeting come out yesterday from Fabrizio Romano saying after a meeting twice with Bayern Munich, Nico Williams has met with Barcelona and Lamine Yamal has started sharing this picture on his Instagram account. It's very likely, I think, he joins Barcelona, and that front three of Rafinha in the 9, Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams is going to be absolutely devastating. Now, if Arsenal want to win the Premier League title, they need to make another statement on that left-hand side, and for me, that is Rodrigo. If Arsenal go out there right now and sign Rodrigo and Gyökeres, that makes them, for me, just as strong as Liverpool, as Manchester City, because you've got a front three of Gyökeres, Rodrigo, and Saka. You'd have a midfield of Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, backups like Thomas Partey in there. They've already got a very, very stable foundation on their back line. Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, Lewis Skelly. Right, Kieran Tierney's gone. The likelihood is Zinchenko's going to go. They need to be serious this summer. You didn't spend a lot in January, right? Let's be honest. If we're speaking open about this, the club probably let Arteta down, right? They should have went out there and bought an elite goal scorer, or at least bring an attacker in. You know, they've already got Zubimendi. Here we go. That's likely to be announced at some point in the next month. When you look at the number 9 situation, if you can bring in Viktor Gyökeres, I think you've got the best goal scorer out there. And a Premier League with Isak, with Gyökeres, with Haaland. Who's saying that the world doesn't have elite number 9s when 3 of them are in the Premier League? You know, it's going to be a very, very interesting season next year. I tell you that, especially if Arsenal go out there and get Rodrigo. I honestly think that Gyökeres is going to be a very, very big signing. Very, very big signing. Now, LiveScore put out a few days ago that Rodrigo remains Arsenal's priority target this summer. Now, there was reports a few months ago that Arsenal are prepared to spend big, £200-300 million. If you go and bring Rodrigo and Gyökeres in for, like, let's say 150 million, 80 million on Rodrigo, 70 million on Gyökeres, that is 2 immediate starters that make your front line one of the best in Europe. Rodrigo, Saka, and Gyökeres, for me, is up there, one of the best front threes in Europe, one of the best front threes in the Premier League. You know, some fans might say Liverpool are better, some fans might say PSG are better, but it just puts them more in the conversation. And that's where Arsenal want to be. Arsenal fans want to be going out there, competing, winning silverware. But if Arsenal want to be serious, they've got to take this next step now. You finished second, you've three-peated second place, you've made cup semi-finals. A player like Gyökeres is the difference between getting over the line. It's going to be a fascinating transfer window. Make sure you hear every step of the way. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the granny out of it. Drop a like on the video if you haven't already. If we get it 500 likes, that would be absolutely glorious. I'll be back tomorrow for more transfer news. I am out.